All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is going on, YouTube? We're back with the Thursday, November 9th NHL Quick Hit Edition here for this 11-game slate on tap tonight. Looking at the slate as a high-level overview here, bunch of 6.5 totals, couple 5.5 totals there in Nashville and the Jets, and then the Islanders and the Bruins is also a 5.5 total. And then we got a 7 total out late night hammer in that game between Edmonton and San Jose. San Jose coming off their first win of the season, but Edmonton comes in there 2-9 and massive favorites on the road. Obviously, been targeting teams against San Jose all year long. Philly didn't work out last time, so we'll definitely talk about that once we get to that game. But if you guys are new, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Helps us out a ton right here on this channel. We're on a drive for 5 here to get 5,000 subscribers. Once we do, we are giving away an annual membership over here to ShipitNation.com. Get you access to all of our premium content behind the paywall, including all sports for very, very low price. Cheapest in the industry for everything that's included. Had an excellent night in the NBA streets last night. I had a great night in the NHL streets last night, along with members, core play, slate plan, everything like that for NHL will be up a little later this afternoon here, and get you plenty of time to build all your lineups here. So again, if you are new, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and down in the comments, drop your favorite stacks, your favorite goalies, your favorite players on today's slate here. Without further ado, let's jump right in. Let's talk some of my favorite stacks, my favorite values, and then favorite goalies. I'll get on out of here. Try and keep this to about 25 minutes or so for you guys, get you in, get you out. And then again, my final thoughts will be up on ShipitNation.com. So taking a look at the first game, our first stack that I have interest in here, it's actually going to be Detroit. They're minus 170 favorites at home here against Montreal. Jake Allen's going to be in net. And I think this is a smash spot here for Detroit. Detroit's been the 5th best home scoring offense in the league. But I really want to target Detroit's power play here. Montreal's penalty kill is sub 70%. And I think Detroit's power play is pretty solid here. They're top 10 in the league on home ice. So really like this top power play for Detroit here. DeBrincat, Dylan Larkin, Shane Gostisbehere, Lucas Raymond, and David Perron. David Perron and Lucas Raymond are both very cheap to make that stack nice and more affordable. Lucas Raymond on that top line, top power play, skate next to DeBrincat and Larkin. So if you want a power play and a line one stack that correlates together, you can play that. If you want to get a little bit different, you can leave him off, throw in a guy like David Perron, who's going to skate on that second line with Comper and Andrew Kopp. And he's just 3,800, averaging over 2 shots per game as well over the last 5 games. Lucas Raymond sitting at about 2 shots per game over the last 5. Gostisbehere has been the D-man that's running point up there. Don't love him a ton, but really like the other 4 on this top power play. You can jump into the second line here too if you'd like for full strength. It's a good matchup. Montreal, very leaky here. And Detroit has absolutely owned Montreal last season. They were 4-0 against Montreal last season, scoring 5 goals in each of their last 3s against the same Montreal team here. So really like Detroit. Detroit's probably my favorite stack of the night, considering all things as it sits right now. So really like Detroit a ton here. Next team I have a lot of interest in here is it's going to be going right back to the well with these Vancouver Canucks here. They're on the road in Ottawa. Ottawa's coming in on a back-to-back. Obviously just beat Toronto last night. I was all over Ottawa last night. Loaded the wagon on Ottawa. The masses were on the other side. Masses were on Toronto. Ottawa came in, punched them in the mouth. I made a lot of money. It was great to see. So I'm going right back to the well here, though. On the other side, Ottawa on a back-to-back. Vancouver has just been a very, very good team. I'm not sure if they're a very good team or if it's just the nature of their schedule when you're playing teams like San Jose and Edmonton back-to-back, things like that. But Vancouver so far, 4th best road scoring team in the league. Ottawa has been very leaky on home ice as well. And Vancouver power play, their top power play, second best road power play in the league, cashing in at 44%. And Ottawa Senators penalty kills sub 71% here. They give up a decent amount of penalties. So I'm love this Vancouver top power play. Elias Pettersson, sub 8K, great price point on him. JT Miller, sub 7K. He's on that top power play as well. Really like him. Brock Besser, sub 7K. Really like him. Quinn Hughes has been absolutely electric over the last week and a half. I mean, 29, 35, 13, 38 DraftKings points in his last couple of games. He's 6,500, one of the top D-men on the entire slate. And then Andrei Kuzmenko remains to be 4,300 on that top line, top power play. So really like Vancouver a lot here. You can even look at the second line stack here. But my main focus is definitely that top line here for Vancouver, that top power play, excuse me. That second line in Brock Besser, De Giuseppe, and JT Miller. If you want a little bit lower owned full line stack, you can definitely go that way. Typically like these second liners a little bit more on the road. So I really like Vancouver quite a bit here tonight. Another team that I think a lot of people are going to go to here, and it's hard to argue, it's Tampa at home. They're minus 260 favorites, one of the highest implied goal totals on the slate. They get these Blackhawks at home, and the story of this game is Nikita Kucherov, 43, 41, 26 DraftKings points in his last 3 games. Guy's averaging over almost 6 shots on goal per game over the last 5. Another elite spot here for him. But interesting to note, Chicago has actually limited wings pretty decent over the last 5 games. So it could be a spot to hop off the Kucherov and the Tampa wagon here. But in terms of stacks on the slate, I have to bring them up because they're just playing incredible hockey right now, especially this top line. And now they draw a matchup at home against Chicago here. Peter Mrazek's going to be in net likely for Chicago. So Tampa, if I'm going here, I'm looking at this top line, Hagel, Braden Point, and Nikita Kucherov. They've just been so good. And Nikita Kucherov still sub 9K for his talent right now. Braden Point, sub 8K. Steven Stamkos at sub 7K, 6,800 for him. You could add him in there. He correlates on that power play as well. He's a great play. Victor Hedman is a great play. D-men have a pretty solid matchup here against Chicago. He's 6K flat. I'd find probably $500 more to go up to Quinn Hughes. But Victor Hedman, if you're playing Tampa, definitely makes a lot of sense. Nicholas Paul on that top power play as well, skate next to Sherry and Stamkos on the full line strength. He's just 4,400 coming off 2 goals in that Montreal game earlier this week. I think you could go back to the well on him. He still remains pretty cheap. So overall, Tampa, probably one of the chalkiest stacks on the slate. I like them, but I don't love them. Is kind of how I'm approaching them here, especially Nikita Kucherov. I mean, he's absolutely on fire right now. But I'm just hoping that Chicago can kind of slow them down. Chicago's been pretty good against wings over the last 5 games. Next stack I'm looking at here is another late night hammer here. It's another team on a back-to-back. The Kings coming in on a back-to-back last night. Got the job done for me. Copley was in net here for me last night and absolutely crushed. So love to see that here last night. Almost got the shutout against Vegas, which would have been nice to see. Copley, excuse me. Copley's going to be in that here tonight, but the Kings did win 4-1 last night. Got the job done for me overall. So I really like that. But here, I think Pittsburgh comes in. I think Pittsburgh beats them up pretty good. That now they're on a back-to-back. Copley's going to be in net here. The Kings have been pretty leaky on home ice. 4th worst team in the league in terms of goals against. Their expected goals is much higher than that. So I do think there's some negative regression here. So I'm not absolutely in love with Pittsburgh here, but do think Pittsburgh's got a decent matchup. They've been the second best road scoring team in the league. Their expected goals is up there as well. They take the 5th most shots in the league. They have a power play, that's cashing in over 30%. So really think that Penguins, can get here to the Kings. Not in love with them at their prices, but it's hard to ignore the spot. That top line, Sid Crosby, Jake Guentzel, and Brian Russ continue to be on fire, continue to be one of the best lines in the league, in unblocked shot attempts for on net, which you're looking for, right? You want your shots that are going on net to be unblocked. They continue to do that. And then I actually think I prefer this second line a little bit more, though, here in this spot. Riley Smith, Evgeny Malkin, and Ricard Raquel is actually where I'm going to go if I go to Pittsburgh here, is this second line. Like the price points on them, like second liners a little bit more on the road. Probably going to draw a better matchup. They're probably going to avoid that Kopitar line on a home ice here. I would assume Kopitar is going to take the Sid line, and that's a little bit of a better defensive hockey line. So give me the second line for Pittsburgh here if I'm going to the Penguins, excuse me. Let's talk about it. I have to bring up this team. I got two more stacks on the slate. One of them is probably the chalk of the night here, and it's the late night hammer. 7 total here, minus 320 favorites for Edmonton, and we know the drill with the Sharks. Outside of last game against Philly, where they finally picked up a win, but man, you can argue Philly's offense is all a mess with their lines jumbling around, and it was kind of just a perfect letdown spot there on Tuesday. But we come right back to the well here tonight with Edmonton here. Firmly, everyone's in play for me for Edmonton. I mean, Edmonton has not been great, but anyone that's not been great is a great spot to be great against a San Jose team who's averaging over 5.5 goals per game on home ice, the most expected goals in the league, have the worst penalty kill in the league, and allow the most high danger chances in the league on a home ice here. So love them all. Connor McDavid's back in the lineup tonight here as well. He's 9,500, so like him a lot. Mick Leod and Zach Hyman, his two line mates, really like them. Evander Kane down on that third line, skating next to Nugent Hopkins and Gagner here. Really think that third line is going to be super low owned, and Evander Kane is leading this team over the last 5 in terms of shots on net, and he's just 5,600, playing good hockey right now, so really like him. But firmly, any one of these guys is in play for me. Even that second line with Holloway, Fogle, and Leon Draisaitl. Fogo's been really good over the last 2 games. He's sub 4K, really nice value wing on this slate in one of the best matchups for wingers. So got to love Edmonton here. Love them all 3 lines. You can play them all. You can play the D-men. I mean, it's just an absolute elite spot. It's a late night hammer spot. They're going to get ownership. Probably one of the chalkiest teams on the slate, especially the cheaper guys, but it's hard to ignore here against San Jose. Last team I have interest here in it's the Rangers at home here against the Wild. Rangers minus 135 favorites here. 6.5 is the total. But Wild have been very leaky on the road, and where they've been very leaky is their penalty kill. I mean, their penalty kill is sitting at 59% on the road this season through 5 games. And the Rangers have one of the best home power plays in the league, one of the best power plays in general over the league, top 10. So I'm going right back to the well here with the New York Rangers power play. Artemi Panarin's my favorite Ranger by far. He's on that top power play. Mika Zibanejad, sub 7K again for him, is a nice price point. Chris Kreider, power play specialist. This guy's not scored under 12 DraftKings points in his last 4 games. He's 6,100. Really nice price point for him. Love him. Interesting to note, Blake Wheeler is up on that top line now, it does look like. And he's 3,500. So Blake Wheeler is a nice, excellent value play. Skate next to Kreider and Zibanejad. He is on that second power play, not that top power play, but he gets a boost at his price point skate next to those 2 guys. Vincent Trocheck and Eric Gustav continues to be sub 4K. He's going to be very, very chalky here. It's a great matchup. D-man against Minnesota. And he's running point on that top power play since he's moved up there since the Adam Fox injury. He has not scored under 13 DraftKings points in the last 2, 23 and 13. Sub 4K for him, one of the best value D-men on the entire slate, and definitely a cash staple here tonight. So really like this top power play with Eric Gustav, Vincent Trocheck, Chris Kreider, Mika Zibanejad, and Artemi Panarin for these New York Rangers. That's where I'm looking. Obviously, there's 22 teams to pick from. I gave you my top 7. Or top 6, excuse me, here. Could be different than I am, but this is kind of where I'm looking at this point of the day. Again, my final content, final thoughts, and slate plan, everything like that will be published for ShipitNation subscribers. If you are not a member, head over to ShipitNation.com and choose one of the packages. We got monthly, 6-month, or yearly packages. If you sign up for the yearly, gets it down to under $60 a month. It comes to $50-something a month when you do the math and average it out. So absolutely elite value with everything you get. Our NBA team has been smashing right now. Our projections continue to crush, and we continue to print money over here. And you're definitely seeing our logos at the top of the leaderboards more and more here. So definitely head over there, check us out. Let's jump into some of the values here. Looking at the center position first, sub 4K. A couple of values you can look at here. First guy for me, Yanni Gourde. This guy continues to get the job done here. He is in Colorado. It's not the greatest matchup, but 9, 21, 11, 10, 10 DraftKings points in his last 5, averaging almost 3 shots per game, and he's just 3,400, getting power play time as well, skating next to Tolvanen and Bjorkstrand. So really like Yanni Gourde here as a value if you need a sub 4K center one-off guy there. Another guy for me is Marco Rossi. Last time he played these Rangers earlier this season, he did score a goal, played 23 minutes, and he's sub 4K here. Top line, top power play, skate next to Boldy and Kaprizov at 3,800, averaging right around 3 shots per game. So Marco Rossi is definitely a good value play here at the center position. Ross Colton, going to continue to bring this guy up. He has a very, very good matchup here, and he's $200 over min price on home ice, 14, 6, 12 DraftKings points in his last 3 games, averaging over 2.5 shots per game. He's going to play probably 12 to 15 minutes here, might get extended run on home ice here, and it's a great matchup. Our centers against Seattle here. So Ross Colton, one of the best values, punt values on the slate. He's probably going to get a decent amount of ownership, but $200 over min price, hard to argue, makes a lot of things work in your lineup. So I really like him. And then the other guy, let me just see here. One other guy that I have interest in here is, let me just take a look. It's going to be on Detroit here. I'm going back to the well with Detroit. I really like Detroit in this matchup. It's going to be the second line center here. It's going to be JT Compher here. He's not shooting the puck a ton here, but it's a great matchup. The best matchup on the slate, 2 centers, is centers against Montreal here. And JT Compher here on home, skate next to Perron and Andrew Kopp here. 3,500 for him. Really like his price point. So I think he makes a lot of sense at the value position for centers on a team that I already like to stack up. Jumping into the wing position here, you have to look at the best matchup when you're starting at value wings and go right back to the well on Edmonton. Warren Fogle, top value wing on the slate, in my opinion. Matchup, his recent involvement, right? He's averaging almost 4 shots per game at sub 4K, 3,700 for him. So I really like him. Dylan Holloway at 2,600. Very, very nice value play for him. Again, same matchup, great matchup here for him. So you got to look at him. 2 other value guys that I'm looking at, I already talked about liking the Rangers quite a bit here, and both these guys share the same time on the power play. On that second power play, Blake Wheeler and Alexis Lafreniere. It's a great matchup, second best matchup on the entire slate. Wingers against Minnesota here, and they're both sub 4K. So Alexis Lafreniere, Blake Wheeler, really have interest in those 2 guys here as well. Going back to Seattle, didn't talk about Seattle too much, but I really like the Seattle third line as a value. They're playing very, very, very good hockey. So one of the value wingers that I'm looking at in a good matchup, third best matchup on the slate, is Eli Tolvanen. Again, he skates next to Yanni Gourde and Bjorkstrand. So you can pair those 3 together if you need a value stack, or just play Yanni Gourde, Eli Tolvanen here. It is a tougher matchup against Colorado, but nobody's going to go to them. They've been playing great hockey right now, and they're super cheap. Don't need to do a ton to pay off their price points. So really like that. And then the last value wingers that I'm looking at here is going to be let me just 1 second here. It's going to be actually a super low owned team here. But it's, again, Edmonton is the worst road defense in the entire league again here. It's a great matchup, and this guy's playing great hockey, skating on that top power play, coming off a goal last game, coming off a goal the game before that. He's got a goal in 2 straight games here, and he's sub 4K, 3,900 for him. Anthony Duclair for the San Jose Sharks, 3,900, top power play. He's skating over 17 minutes a game, has a good matchup here. So I really like Anthony Duclair as a lower-owned wing value play against a team that everyone's going to be on the Edmonton side, but I expect this game to shoot out here. Both these teams are terrible defensively. Both these teams are 2 of the worst teams in hockey so far this year. Edmonton's got 2 wins. San Jose's got 1 win, and they got 20 losses combined between the 2 of them with a ton of goals against. So really think that game goes crazy. And Anthony Duclair at sub 4K is a nice value winger on this slate. Jumping in the D-man position here, sub 4K D-man that I have interest in. I'm going right back to the well with Scott Mayfield here for the New York Islanders. 3,700 for him. Gets a tough matchup against Boston, but he's a shot blocker. 4 blocks, 6 blocks, 3 blocks in his 3 games back that he's been back since injury. He's a shot blocker. All you need is 3 blocks to hit that bonus on DraftKings. And if your value guys be hitting that bonus, there's a good chance that they're paying off their price paint. So Scott Mayfield, definitely have an interest in him. Going back to the well, really like Mario Ferraro there. He is sub 4K now. Dropped $100 discount. He's been very good all season long, and now gets an Edmonton team, which is a good matchup. They're going to shoot the puck a ton. I expect a lot of goals to come in that game. So Mario Ferraro for San Jose Sharks at 3,900. Definitely have interest in him in terms of a value D-men on this slate. Looking at another value D-men here, it's going to be Dallas, and it's going to be Thomas Harley. 3,300 for him, second liner, playing 16 to 18 minutes here. He's a shot blocker. Again, you're really looking for him to get that blocks. Last time he played Columbus, he did score a goal as well, and 3,300 for him, 8, 10, 10 DraftKings points in his last 3 games. So Thomas Harley for Dallas, another value D-man you can look at on this slate here that I have interest in. Going back to that late night hammer here, Matthias Ekholm getting power play time at 3,300 in one of the best matchups on the slate. You got to look at him. Really like him. 13, 8, 16 DraftKings points. He's a solid D-man as well. Pretty healthy projection on him. So Matthias Ekholm, definitely probably one of the chalkiest D-men on the slate at his price point, 3,300 for him. And if you really want a good pairing, you could do him, Matthias Ekholm, and Eric Gustav. They're both sub 4K, both in great spots, great matchups, great power play time, and they're both 4K. So you could do a little package deal there for under 8K for the two of them, spend up everywhere else, and have yourself a nice roster build. So my last value D-man on this slate is going to be Eric Gustav for New York Rangers, 3,900. He's running point on that top power play and a great power play matchup here tonight. So really like the spot for him. Talking on goalies here, my first goalie I have interest in is Thatcher Demko. He's probably my favorite goalie on the slate. Ottawa, again, I talked about, is on a back-to-back here. Demko's been incredible. He's a very, very good goalie. I like Vancouver's offense in this game. 25, 18, 24, 29, 30 DraftKings points in his last 5 games. Really like the price point on him, like the matchup, like everything. I like Vancouver in this game. So Thatcher Demko, my favorite goalie on the entire slate here. Jake Oettinger, got to have interest in him. He is in Columbus here, but I expect Dallas to win the game. Ottinger's been good all season long. So if I was spending up, it'd probably be to a guy like Jake Oettinger here at 8,200. Have some interest in him here. If I'm also spending up, need a little bit more or a little bit cheaper, 8K, Igor Shesterkin. He is projected to be back tonight. Obviously, he's coming back from injury there. So keep an eye on him. Not 100% sure if he's fully back. But he is the expected starter at 8K. He's a very good goalie here. I like the Rangers in this game, especially the power play. So Igor Shesterkin at 8K flat would be another goalie that I'm looking at as a spend up on this slate. Another goalie that I'm looking at here, another game time decision for him. He's day-to-day right now as it sits, but it's Tristan Jarry. 7,500 for Tristan Jarry in this matchup with the Kings on a back-to-back. And he's a great goalie for that price point. So Tristan Jarry at 7,500 is another spend down goalie that I have a lot of interest in here that will likely pick up some ownership, but he's been very good against the Kings last season. He saw the Kings save 39 shots and picked up a win. And he's just 7,500. So that's where I'm looking on this slate in terms of goalies, in terms of value, in terms of stacks. It is a great, great slate here tonight. I think we're going to crush this slate. Again, my final content projections, everything will be updated for ShipitNation subscribers over here on the website. But for myself, Nadesify, good luck today in your contest. I'm going to get on out of here. I got things to get done. Hopefully you guys check out the NFL Showdown. Break down that Hoop, Tambo, and Title are doing over on the Mayo Media Network. But I'm going to get out of here. Good luck tonight. We'll see you guys next time. For myself, Nadesify.